brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to our show where everything good in life is worth talking about. I am one of your hosts, good old gal Julieanna, and with me at the table for this really cool episode is good old boy Dave.
Hey.
Hey. Good old boy Jason.
Hello, everyone.
Nice voice. And good old boy Jason Part 2, who we will refer to as good old boy Sparky.
There can be only one.
She called you number 2.
Well, just me.
Who do I work for?
You don't know. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that, one.
It's not the first time, Julie. It's okay.
Sorry.
Well, okay. This is starting off well.
I know. We're in for fun. Okay. Our Suds segments, which is what we're going to be talking about. Suds today are all about beer, and more beer. And today's show is all about the little guy.
We're doing a show about Dave?
No, hardly. I don't know that people would actually listen to that.
You guys do realize I'm sitting right here, right?
Oh, hey, Dave.
Hey, didn't see you there, man.
Didn't know your mic was turned on. Anyways. Today we'll be showcasing 3 breweries that, despite having small distribution areas, have built loyal followings, won awards, and are just flat out making some awesome beer. Our 3 breweries today are Trinity Brewing Company from Colorado Springs, Colorado, Adroit Theory Brewing Company.
Adroit.
Adroit.
Android.
No, there's no Android. It's Adroit. Adroit Brewing. Oh, gosh. Guys, I'm really sorry about this. Adroit Theory Brewing Company from Purcellville, Virginia. And from my home state, Dave, drum roll, please. Oh. Dude, really? A cowbell?
I gotta have more cowbell, baby. Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Really?
You married it.
Yeah, you did.
Gosh. Okay. Well, that just kills it. What I'm trying to do is introduce one of my favorite breweries, which is Susquehanna Brewing Company from Pittston, Pennsylvania, which is right around where I grew up. But more about that later. So, good old boy Jason, you get the honors of going over our Suds ratings today.
All right. Well, we'll be tasting and discussing these beers and rating them with these Suds ratings, plus our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings now. That sucks. Give me anything but a bud. Was that a belch? Ah, what a relief. A body should really not make that sound. Listen to that hang time. Give me another.
Sorry.
No, you're not sorry. Great job. So let's get to some beer now. Up first is good old boy Jason, who's going to introduce Trinity Brewing Company.
All right, this is directly from Trinity's website and their president, Jason Yester, a.k.a. the Saison Man. At Trinity Brewing, we not only brew the most artisanal beer in town, we also make huge efforts towards eco-sensitivity. We custom-built our brew pub from nearly 100% recycled materials, A number of our beers are even produced in large wooden barrels, which previously housed wine or spirits. Whether reviving ancient traditions or coming up with completely new ideas, our beers will always challenge your palate. So, first up from Trinity Brewing.
Sorry, I just love Trinity that much.
Well, they're pretty awesome. First up, we've got TPS Report. If you don't get that joke, I'm sorry. Go and just go expose yourself to some culture, people.
Yeah, crawl out of that cave.
Yeah.
You are really dumb. For real.
All right, TPS Reports, a wild Brettanomyces wit beer with rose petals. This one won a GABF gold medal in 2009 and a bronze in 2012. Brewed with flaked oats, flaked wheat, tangerine zest, lemon zest, and then fermented 100% with a very rare variety of Brettanomyces. This beer is exceedingly aromatic, aged on French oak Chardonnay barrels and rose petals for complex maturity and sweet, earthy notes. So I'll give my tasting notes to start with on this one. They hit the nail on the head with the floral comment. Just sweet floral aromatics in the nose. That carries over into the taste as well. It's got a nice creamy mouthfeel. Very complex floral, almost herby at times flavors. There is the kind of that low but present element of the Brettanomyces, that funk, if you will. It doesn't overshadow the aromatics or the flavor of the rose petals that were added. I think it's a nice balance to the rose petals and the zest that were added to this beer. So I really enjoyed this one. It was a solid 4 in my book.
Body should really not make that sound.
Good boy, Dave. What'd you think?
Well, it's about time you asked me what I thought about some stuff. So, I'm a big fan of Trinity and never mince words about that. Never made it a secret. Love those guys. Love their beer. Sorry. Thought something broke. It was just me. So TPS Report is no exception to that. I find this beer to be very complex, refreshing, and it's really just quite good. I find that I get a lot of the citrus notes from the tangerine and the different kinds of zest and stuff. So I really enjoy this beer. I think it's solid, and I could drink it all the time. I am going to go out on a huge limb and give this beer a 5.
Listen to that hang time. Give me another. Mighty impressive. Wow.
That's
okay.
me.
Yes. TPS Report for me is one of those Trinity beers that I think we always have around at the house, or at least we try to have around at the house. It's a good classic Trinity standard, if that makes any sense. And like good old boy Jason said, it is really creamy, and that kind of blew me away the first time I tried it, because I thought, okay, with all this Brett, it's going to be a little sharp, it's going to be a little effervescent, if you will, but the creaminess just makes it such a beautiful beer. Anyways, I really enjoyed it, just like everyone else, and I'm giving this a 4.
A body should really not make that sound.
Good old boy Sparky, what'd you think?
Dave, did you get the memo about the TPS cover sheets?
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to turn one of those in with your next report next time. Thanks. I kind of have to go with anything that is office space related. That's always a win in my book. But I really enjoyed this. Straight off the nose, my first note that I wrote down was yes, all of the yes. You got citrus, you got funk, you got some perfume at the end from the rose petals, I suppose, and just really clean and delightful. And then when I tasted it, just all the citrus, and I didn't really taste the rose petals on the taste of it so much, but the citrus came through really well, and it was just very nice and clean on the finish. But I could drink this all day long, too. I mean, this would be something that I could stash away and keep on a regular basis. I think this easily is a 4. No question.
A body should really not make that sound.
Okay, good old boy Jason, do you want to give a description of the next beer?
We can do that. The next one up is Slap Your Mammy. It's a double IPA, coming in at 10.5% ABV. Huge ale, brewed with 7 of the highest quality malts and 9 varieties of hops. IBU level on this is a whopping 125. So that's a pretty big beer. And get into my tasting notes on this one. This one had, I don't know, I think maybe the 9 hop varieties were a little too much. I thought that the hop aroma was a little muted, and the hop flavor was just a touch muddled, and I really didn't get the double IPA aspect of this. It maybe it's that lupulin threshold shift or whatever you want to call it these days, but I just didn't get double IPA out of this. Still a good beer, though. I rated it a 3.
A 3. What a relief. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the rest of our tastings.
I'm going to hang by the bar. Put out the pipe.
You should download our app. What's an app? We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome back, everyone. We were just discussing Slap Your Mammy, and good old boy Jason was giving his tasting notes, and now we're going to move on to good old boy Dave. What are your tasting notes?
Okay, hold on a second. 7, 8. Yep, definitely 9 hop varieties in there. Got them all. That is good.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah. So, if we had time, I would count all 125 IBUs, but that would probably take us into overtime, so I'll refrain. I really like this beer. I don't think it's one of the Trinity beers that I would call one of their best, but I do think it's funky. It's got some good hop characteristics, and I think overall it's a very drinkable beer. I would definitely give this beer a 4.
And I should really not make that sound. Wow. Okay, well, I did not slap any mammies in while this was happening, but
no mammies were slapped.
No, they weren't.
Show.
None were hurt.
I slapped my own memories. I don't know if that's a thing. What? Hello.
Wow. Okay.
So
memories all alone in the moonlight.
Leave it to Sparky to make things turn weird just all of a sudden. Anytime.
I'm here for you guys.
He's the dark party. That's awesome. Okay. I really like this beer, and for it being a double IPA, what I enjoyed about this is that it wasn't as sweet as a lot of double IPAs can be, if that makes any sense. You know how there's that, there's just this sweetie resiny thing going on, and we didn't have that, and I can really appreciate that. Very smooth, very easy drinking for a double IPA as well. Sadly, no, I don't get all 9 hop varieties, so forgive me, Saison Man, but I really did like this beer too. I mean, this is a good, classy, all year round kind of thing. I gave this puppy a 4.
A body should really not make that sound.
So, good old boy Sparky, what'd you think?
Well, I was shocked that this was a double IPA because it also did not really taste like other DIPAs I've had in the past. On the nose, you definitely got the hops and some citrus, but I didn't really get any funkiness out of it. And then when I tasted it, I totally got, the resin that you would expect to taste. But just not as much as I would have thought with 125 IBU. And I was only getting like 7.5 of the hops.
Really?
Not 9 of them. No, I can't say as I would be able to distinguish that. Definitely got some malt out of it. And then the other thing, for a 10.5% ABV, I did not taste the booze in this one as much, which
true.
This could be something I want to take along on a date sometime.
Wow.
But hello.
Aren't you married?
I am.
That's why he's going to take this along.
Yes. My wife will never know what happened. But no, I mean, all in all, I thought it was decent, but not really what I was expecting in the style. I think I'm going to have to go with a 3 on this, Dave.
Oh, what a relief. Well, that concludes our little talk about Trinity, which, yay, go Trinity.
Yay.
The second beer that we are going to, the second brewery that we're going to discuss is Adroit Theory and good old boy Sparky.
So from their website, Adroit Theory is a nano brewery located in Purcellville, Loudoun County, Virginia. It's actually adroit, if you didn't know, means somebody that is skilled with their hands. And the guy that found I see what you did there. Well played, sir. Well played. But the guy that the guys that founded it owned a successful house painting business, and so Adroit, skilled with hands, that's kind of where that came from. The house painting, they were side brewers, and they kind of came up with this. But they make esoteric beers with an emphasis on barrel aging. And from their site, it says we're an extremely small brewery that makes beer 1 keg at a time. Even though we're small, we typically have 24 beers on draft at any time, plus a dedicated cask. I know, right? I don't think they stop. They're very busy with those hands.
I guess so.
Plus a dedicated cask line. We also bottle some, but not all of our beers. We routinely have 16 to 20 different styles bottled for either on or off-site consumption. So the first one that we had up, first of all, their beers kind of, I think we were talking about this early, kind of go for the whole like Three Floyds heavy metal vibe.
Kind of scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would say they're scary.
I'm pretty sure that one of them had serial killers all over the label, which not a turnoff for me, but maybe for some.
As long as the serial killers are just on the label and not in the beer.
Yeah, it's probably just a matter of time till we see something like that.
I taste a little bit of Gacy here. Maybe it's not so much Bundy, but
still too soon. Oh my God! Could you get me some Listerine, please? I need to scrape out my tongue.
Wow.
So the first thing we had is the Black Celebration Imperial Porter Oak Barrel Aged. And I believe that this was their oak barrel aged in, it was a rum barrel prior to this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Their description is a prison with walls made from your nightmares, your lost hope, a pervasive darkness in which to dwell. Only the chosen will hear the whispers of angels. A collaboration with drum and bass DJ Damian Higgins, a.k.a. Diesel Boy. I have no idea who Diesel Boy is.
He sounds scary.
Maybe he's inside this because you can't see any light inside the bottle, so there's really no telling what's in that.
Yeah.
It's true.
But for me, I on the smell, there wasn't necessarily coffee in it, but I absolutely picked up a ton of coffee smell in that. A bunch of chocolate. a bunch of anger and maybe a little bit of bitterness that had been in there. I'm not sure what they were listening to as they...
Coffee and anger.
Yeah. Coffee and anger.
Sounds like me at work.
Yeah, it's pretty much every morning, I think is how that works, right? And then the taste of it, again, I don't think it was necessarily coffee, but maybe that dark malt brought that up. A little bit sweet and a great tang at the end. I think we were talking about the difference between this and a porter versus a stout, is that it was ultimately a lighter body and a lighter mouthfeel and no creaminess at all. It was pretty much black, dark, and straight to the point, as it were, so to speak. And so overall, I think this, to me, I give it a solid 3.
What a relief. Good old boy, Jason, what'd you think?
Well, I agree on the coffee and chocolate, which you will get from dark roasted malts like that. Very strong on that, the coffee in the nose and in the flavor, chocolate in the nose, chocolate in the flavor. Just a lot of dark, heavy roasted malts. But I will say that I enjoyed... They handled those dark malts very well. If you overuse or over-extract those malts, you get a lot of astringency. And this just didn't have that. It didn't have that biting astringency that a lot of dark beers do. So I enjoyed that aspect. I did get a little bit of that sweet molasses, dark sugar character out of it as well. And a little touch of the oak came through from the barrel. I will say, yes, porters are not stouts, but if you're going to call this an Imperial porter, I would have liked a little more meat, a little more body to it. I thought it was just a touch thin for an Imperial porter.
Just a little guy.
So I'm going with a 3 on this one.
Oh, what a relief. Good old boy, Dave, what'd you think?
So, chocolate... anger, serial killers, dark fortress of your mind. And
it's in there.
Imprisonment. Yeah, sounds like a good time. So can't wait to go to the tap room. No,
Gimp's sleeping.
We, wow, wake him up. So we first tried Adroit Theory at GABF 2 years ago. And I remember one of the things that struck me about them is that they made a beer that was aged in mezcal barrels that good old boy Mike, and if you listen to episodes of this show, you'll know good old boy Mike's rather picky about his beers. But he actually was like totally wowed about it. So we all tried it and we were like, damn, these guys are really good. And so I'm very impressed with Adroit Theory overall. This beer... I thought it had good mouthfeel. I thought it was pretty strong, and I liked the rum characteristics that came out on the back end of this through the barrel. So I would give this beer a 4.
A body should really not make that sound. So, for me, this Adroit Theory beer, and guys, forgive me that I'm not saying this. I don't know why I want to call Adroit something else.
Android.
Android. Sure. Yeah. Maybe
that sounds cooler too.
Yeah.
Android Theory.
Anyways, this beer was neat. Yes, it was dark, and yes, it was like, in your face roasty chocolatiness. But I also got this like molassesy tinge on my tongue at the end. Which kind of lingered a bit. And I thought, wow, that's like pretty cool for it just being a porter and not being a stout. And I'm like still tasting it, and it's very sweet.
And you love molasses.
I do love molasses. Yes, I am a northern girl that loves molasses. Anyways, I'm going to give this a 4 because I really enjoyed it.
A body should really not make that sound.
All right, next up we've got from Adroit Theory as well, Fire and Brimstone. The fitting destination at the end of a terrible path. The faces, Gacy, Manson, Dahmer. Why'd they do it? Man, this is messed up. I'm sorry. This is really fucking-
Wait a minute. I thought we did The Devil Made Me Do It.
I think that was the lead-in for The Devil Made Me Do It.
This is Fire and Brimstone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, believe it or not, they've got a real fixation on the bad things. I'm just saying. So where does that evil come from? Are they products of their environment, or is there a darker force at work? Many questions, but few answers. Fill your glass and brood on the wickedness latent in the human heart. Then raise your glass in a toast to judgment and justice. Don't look at them in the eyes. You might see yourself. Bum, bum, bum. So tasting notes, it's supposed to be a moody, deep brown, brooding darkness that some might call black. The Devil Made Me is a difficult shadow to perpetrate. Topped by a thick, toffee-colored head, there is no telling what goes on beneath that cloud. Man, these guys are thick on the drama with the beers.
Just like the music they listen to, I'm sure.
Exactly, yeah. I wonder if they put the headphones on the cask to do that whole thing.
Maybe.
Could be.
I've thought about that.
That's a thing. So when I tasted it, first up on the smell, I mean, you definitely get tons of smoke out of this one, as it is a smoked beer. I also got almost like a mesquite. I love to do barbecue and smoke, and I almost picked up some mesquite smoke. So I'd really like to know like what they smoked, what smoked hops they went with here on this. And then when you taste it, the first thing I tasted was not the smoke, but almost like a menthol flavor. It was really interesting.
Smoke them if you got them.
Exactly, yeah. And then came the smoke, and then at the very end, I got the peppers. Apparently, uses Pasilla peppers with a red pepper. I guess that's what you compare with, but I'm not sure what kind of peppers they used in it. Serranos is what it said. Excuse me. And I mean, you could definitely taste those go on for quite a bit of time. A lot of complexity in that. Reminds me of some mistakes I've made with infused vodka with peppers.
Thought you were going to say with women.
Well, the two were actually at the same time.
It's a given. It's a given.
Yeah, that's a thing. And it was not so much smoke. One of my best knocks against smoked porters is that it tastes like smoking or licking the inside of my smoker. This was not one of those times. So, but yeah, I think overall I give this sucker a 3.
Wow. Oh, what a relief. Good old boy Jason, what'd you think?
Well, I agree on most fronts. Definitely lots of smoke up front. I did get a little pepper in the nose as well. Nice, smooth pepper flavor. I love Serrano peppers. I think they're underused in beers. Everybody wants to do habanero or ghost pepper or, keep it simple and do jalapeno. And I just think all of those lack in some way, in some character. I think Serranos are very underused. I love that flavor in this beer. And I got a slightly sour note. And that comes from the smoked malt, I believe, in most cases. It's not from yeast. It's not from anything like that. It's from the malt itself. And I kind of love that little slightly sour note towards the tail end of it. Very enjoyable beer. It was my favorite of the two from Adroit Theory we tried today, and I gave this one a 4.
Ooh, nice. You should really not make that sound.
And I think I misspoke too. This is The Devil Made Me, the smoked porter of Serrano peppers and mezcal barrel aged. So when I said Fire and Brimstone, that was the first of their notes on it.
That was just scary talk that we were using to talk about the beer.
I just wanted to get the room set right before we start talking.
Oh, you put us in a dark mood. Thank you so much.
Welcome. That's right.
We are all going to hell for drinking this beer. I think that's the main point.
Hail Satan!
Good old boy Dave. Your thoughts?
Well, the devil made me drink an extra glass of this, and no, I'm just kidding. I did it on my own. No, I do enjoy smoked beers, and I used to not, though. I used to really not like smoked beers, but I think as I got older, my palate kind of developed a little bit, and I became more of a drunk. That I just started drinking more stuff.
And you married a woman that likes smoky whiskey.
Yes, and smoky stuff.
Well, I think smoked beers have come a long way. I think
True.
they've
gotten
the
better.
Subtle handling of the smoked malts has gotten much better.
Yeah, the first smoked beer I ever had was that German one. You can get in a bottle and it's got a name. It's like
Rauschbier.
Yes, exactly. Anywho, I found the body on this one a little thinner than I would have liked, but Jason reminded me it's a porter, not a stout, so I got over that. So I really like the smoke. I like the heat because it's not too much, it's just enough. And I do get the little bit of sourness, too, that he talked about. So I like this beer a lot. I would give it a 3.
Ah, what a relief. Okay, this beer, it was a little weird for me because I really didn't smell a lot initially. You know, when I saw the description that it was a smoked porter with serrano peppers, I was thinking I was going to get a lot of smoke in the nose. And I didn't get a lot of smoke in the nose, but I did once I tasted it. And the smoke has been lingering. And to me, this is a really nice blend of smoke and peppers, because other smoked beers that I've had with peppers, maybe not necessarily serranos, but other peppers, you get either one or the other, and you don't get a marriage of both. But this one is a really nice blend of both. And I like the fact that they used a porter on this, because that the lighter texture of a porter actually helps, to me anyways, accentuate the smoke and the peppers. And I could live in this beer. I was like quite shocked as how much I really enjoyed it.
Pretty sure you would drown right away.
No, I wouldn't.
There's only one way to know for sure.
Yes, we will need 300 gallons of this beer.
Several
right away.
small batches,
Yes.
please. Thank you.
I'd be drinking for days. Okay, anyways, I really, if you didn't notice, I really enjoyed this beer, and I'm giving this a 4.
A body should really not make that sound.
I think overall we have done justice to these two breweries so far. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk about my life. In a minute. Welcome back, everyone. We are in the midst of discussing our small distribution beer episode. And now, well, it's my time to shine.
This is a complete waste of time.
No, Dave, it is not. So I want to introduce Susquehanna Brewing Company. And unlike Dave, I actually did some research. In fact, I actually spoke to someone at the brewery who, who kind of told me a little bit about what was going on there. Not that I would...
Don't come here. I'm hanging up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
No. He was happy to talk to me, Dave. Oddly enough. Anyways, okay, so Susquehanna Brewing Company is actually like a really cool little story about a lot of generations. On their website, they will boldly say, "We are beer people. It's in our blood, 6th generation and going strong." So this all began with Charles Stegmaier, who was from Württemberg, Germany. He started as an apprentice at a brewery in 1836. Okay, wrap that around your head. Then, he became a brewer at a few breweries in Germany, learning about lagers. Hey, cheers to that, because lagers are great beers. And in 1849, he came to America and he settled in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Yes, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania.
And he is now the head brewer at Susquehanna.
Stop it. He is not.
Actually, zombie form is, right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. Possibly. But no, he brewed his first lager in 1851. Okay. And from that point, it was just all gravy. So in 1898, he founded a brewery with his father-in-law, and then in 1898 changed it to Susquehanna Brewing Company. Now, sadly, Prohibition came to the United States everywhere. I know, and you could not hide it at all. So, sadly, SBC closed in 1920. So,
were they allowed to make medicinal beer? That's a thing, right?
Yeah.
It is a thing, but I don't think they were able to make that thing. No, and it's sad because in the area that, in this Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area, there were a lot of coal miners, there was a lot of German immigrants, a lot of really good lagers were being brewed up to Prohibition during that time.
Well, it sounds like those people really needed beer badly.
Yeah, well,
long day in the coal mine. You need some medicine.
That's just a way to start fights right there.
I'm sure that there were many of them. But anyways, so you fast forward to about 1974, and Edward Meyer, who was a descendant of Mr. Stegmeyer, actually the great-great-grandson of Mr. Stegmeyer, he closed Stegmeyer Brewing Company, and he sold the labels to the Lion Brewery, which was also in Wilkes-Barre. Actually, like from Stegmeyer, you could actually see the Lion Brewery with the big lion's head. So up to this day, you can go to stores in Pennsylvania, and I've actually found Stegmeyer in Kentucky, and it's a Stegmeyer gold medal beer, and Stegmeyer also makes an IPA. Now, in the meantime, more generations have come and gone, and in 2010, the family, the descendants, I should say, the sixth generation, let's say.
Great.
Exactly. So Ed Meyer, Mark Noble, and Ed's son Fred, they formed Susquehanna Brewing Company in Pittston, PA. And where they founded this brewery was actually at the site of a distributorship, which had come into the family and then was sold off through a miller's consolidation in that area. Anyways, needless to say, they made an investment of approximately $8 to $10 million into this brewery, and they opened a state-of-the-art brewery that was built by a company in Germany. And I happened to be there, I think it was maybe like 3 or 4 weeks when they actually opened the brewery to the public for one of the first tours, and I was just blown away. I mean, they had just come out and they had a bottling line already. I was like, oh my God, this is huge. I mean, for my little area. So anyways, through the course of, a few years, they went to GABF last year, and they took bronze for their Golden Cold lager under the Munich Hells category, and we're actually going to be talking about that. But this just is very near and dear to my heart because these guys are local to me. And, being a sixth generation brewer, who's going on to the great grandparents who actually learned from the founders in Germany. I think it's really cool to be able to make lagers and ales in the quality of what they're doing. And it's big for the area too. But anyways, that's my little spiel about my local town. Yay!
Yay.
Okay. So the first beer... Was it that funny?
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
There we go. Sorry.
All right.
Nice course correction.
Well,
Yeah. Okay, so the first beer that I want to talk about is the Golden Cold Lager, which won bronze at GABF this past year. It's just coming in at 5%. It is their refreshing German-inspired beer brewed with Pilsner malt and a small amount of sour malts to bring you a traditional rounded note. They use unique milling and mashing process known as endosperm mashing and classic decoction.
Did you say sperm and decoction?
In the same sentence.
What do you think about that?
So wicked.
I know. We're pretty cool back home. We are. So by separating the husk from the mash, it allows for the brew to, it allows them to brew a very delicate flavor and texture in their beer. Bavarian Hallertau tradition and Hallertau Pearl hops make for a crisp, classic, and nuanced bitterness that brings our corner of northeastern PA or any PA a little closer to you. Okay, well, first of all, I need a moment of silence for the clarity on this beer. I mean, you could tell that this beer is a true lager because it is crystal clear and absolutely beautiful. But besides that, it is such a well-brewed lager, and it's so hard. I hate to say it, but it's really hard to find really well-done lagers nowadays. I mean, yes, you've got those big guys that do their lagers, but in terms of craft breweries, you don't see a lager that often. Anyways,
lagers are very time consuming to make, and you have to tie up a tank or something for a long time. That's why a lot of people don't do it.
And they don't hide flaws.
True.
Especially when you're trying to brew a lighter, crisper beer like this. They do not hide flaws. You cannot hide behind a heavy dose of hops, a heavy dose of malt, roast, anything like that. You just don't have. You have nothing to hide behind.
Sure. And this is that. This is very clear. The malt grains, they come through, they shine. You get that sweetness from them, and you also get the balance with the hops. And to me, this is a very well-balanced beer, and I could totally understand why this took bronze. And yes, I'm going out on a limb, but this is my theme for the next 10 or so minutes. I'm giving this a 5.
What? Listen to that hang time. Give me another Susquehanna.
Good old boy, Sparky. What you think?
Well, I got to tell you, I didn't know your connection to this area or anything like that, and I just tried this blind. And usually, I think we've given lagers kind of a bad name. All that Beechwood Asian.
Yeah.
There's no Beechwood here.
That rice dough. Man, this just blew me away. I mean, honestly, I was not expecting this to be as good as it was. On the nose, you just got hit in the face with malt, and that's always fantastic in my book. I'm down with that. And really, my first sip of it, just like my first thought was, wow, so many people have screwed this style up. Thank you, Blankweiser. That's just, like this fantastic beer style can be so amazing when it's done right. The hops tasted really very authentic. Just everything about it was great. It was so balanced. And I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but I really wanted to cook something with this. I wanted to use this. No, seriously. I love to cook with beer, and I wanted to saute some, like a mirepoix in this or something like that. That was the first.
Very cool.
Yeah, I wanted to make some chili or something with it, and I drank way more than this than I had expected. Faster, like it was one of those deals where, wow, I'm just going to taste and I'm going to keep tasting. And
That's a lager for you.
Yeah, I know. It was gone before I even realized what I'd been doing with it. So, I mean, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm giving this lager a 4, and this was one of the standouts of all the beers that we tasted today for me personally, and I can't stop thinking about ways to cook with it. That's messed up, but true.
Yay.
Right. 4 body should really not make that sound.
Aw. Good old boy, Jason. What'd you think?
Well, Sparky stole my thunder a little bit.
Good job, Sparky.
What'd I do?
And your story about the brewery is great. I come from northern German immigrants to the U.S., and my grandfather was a brewer, and so this style, the German beers, the Helles, the Bocks, etc., are all favorites of mine. This one, straw-colored, clear, just short of brilliant on the clarity. Nice little off-white head, kind of thin, but stuck around really well. But on the flavor and aroma side, this one was this was a Pilsner malt and noble hop demonstration of excellence. It just all came through brilliantly. Smooth, complex, noble hop character, that earthiness of the hop. Smooth finish, just a touch of hop bitterness, just as much as you would want to finish. A little bitterness on the back of the palate that doesn't offend or doesn't linger very long. Just a solid beer. Excellent example of the style. I can see why they won a medal. I'm surprised it wasn't a gold or a silver. I want to give it a 5, but I'm going to go 4. It's hard for me to give a 5, so I'm going 4.
Maybe I could cook you something with it, and then we could both get to that 5, right?
That might
Is
work.
that a deal?
That might work.
All right. We're going to come back.
Good old boy Dave.
So, as much as I hate to agree with my wife, did I just say that out loud?
Yeah, it's okay. She got it on. It's recorded, too. You're hosed, buddy.
No, we're not taping this.
Okay.
Nobody's listening. So, this is from the very first time that she brought it back and we got to try it. I've always loved this beer, and it's always been good, and it's just something that I really think people could enjoy. So, yes, I'm going to go ahead and begrudgingly make my wife happy, and I'm going to give this beer a 4.
Body should really not make that sound. Very cool. Okay, so the next one that I want to discuss, and believe me, SBC, I can discuss all of your beers all day long, but I'm going to refrain, is the Hop 5 IPA. So, their description is, our IPA sparkles with effervescence, the result of natural bottle conditioning, a process where the beer is double fermented into each bottle or keg. Brewed with a blend of 5 hop varieties, Bravo, Willamette, Mount Hood, English Process, and as Harvest Whole Cone Liberty hops. Susquehanna Hop 5 IPA presents a floral, pine-like aroma and full hop flavor. The beer features a signature golden glow, and this is a 6% 55 IBU IPA. This beer, when it came out, I was like kind of holding my breath because I was thinking, okay, they're so good at lagers. God bless. I really hope that they do well with IPAs, because IPAs can go 2 ways. They can go really well or they can go really bad. And this is a beautiful marriage to me anyways of a floral and a piney hop marriage. I mean, it's easily, you can drink this all day long, or at least I could. It's not overly hopped. To me, it's just hopped enough. And this is a good everyday beer to me. And I wish they would come to Tennessee so I could get cases at a time.
Yes.
Anyways, this is another 5 for me.
Listen to that hang time. Give me another.
So, for me, I have to say that on the smell of it, tropical flowers, I got the evergreen on it. When it came down to the taste, I almost got like a cedar was the first note that I tasted. And then I've got some Douglas fir-based brandy at home. That's an actual thing,
Sure.
eau de vie. But that it reminded me very much of that, which is not a bad thing at all. And then just had such a nice, clean finish. Again, they nailed it. I'd never heard of this brewery before, and I think it hit it out of the park on this style. 4 for me on this one, too.
And body should really not make that sound. Good old boy Jason, what'd you think?
Well, I agree on all fronts. I loved the hop character in this beer. It was not muddled. It was bright. If I had to knock it ever so slightly, I would have loved a little bit more hop aroma, but the flavor was there. The creamy off-white head kind of lingered, stuck around. Loved the clarity and the color on it. One thing I would note is I love the restrained use of caramel malts. It was not overly caramelly. So on this one, I'm giving it a Suds rating of 4.
My body should really not make that sound.
So me, I love the hops. I counted all 5 of them. I could taste each one individually. No, I'm just kidding. But I really thought this was a great beer. Well done, easy drinking. I could definitely drink this all the time. I give this beer a 4.
Yay. My body should really not make that sound. Wow, this was great stuff today. And we're going to wrap it up for today's Suds episode. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online, as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search for Sip Suds Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store. We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipsudsmokes.com. Our daily tasting notes flow out of Twitter every day at SipSudsSmoke, and our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news. So do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well. So I am good old gal Julieanna, and I'd like to thank everyone at the table today. Good old boy Dave.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Good old boy Jason.
Wonderful as always.
And good old boy Sparky.
Cheers.
So thanks again for listening to us, and keep on sipping.
You should download our app. What's an app? This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip Suds and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.